discussing and hearing their questions. Find metaphors in helping them answer those questions. Because some of these answers are a bit philosophical and heavy. Metaphors are useful, and we may look at that during Q&A session. Remember, your actions say more than your words for many. You need to start reading more about subjects like usul al-fiqh, maqasid and qawaid, especially qawaid and maqasid. Okay, they're not complicated. Just spend 20 hours on each of those topics. Do it once a week. In 20 weeks, wallahi, you know more about those subjects than the average imam anyway. 20 hours on each of those subjects. It's enough of vaccination to make you know more and know this. Otherwise, you are just like a villager who comes to the hospital with your pregnant wife, and anybody wearing white to you is a doctor. Yeah. Even the dentist, even the pharmacist, etc. Yeah. We should be able to distinguish various specializations. It's not everybody that can help your child. And you are able to know an answer that is good, an answer that is not good, and what questions to ask. And we'll conclude where the Prophet, Allah says, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask those who know. Don't ask anybody first. You know, when it says فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ, don't start, I have a question. Hey, what's your answer? What's your answer? What's your answer? Don't start that way. I have a question. Who's good on this topic? Otherwise, you spread more confusion and doubt. Who's good on this topic? This person. Now you ask those who would know better. Alhamdulillah, I think you know a couple of people belonging to a younger generation, closer to the generation that is asking these questions. Please find ways of helping them vaccinate you and vaccinate your children and younger ones. I pray Allah continues to forgive us for our mistakes. May He continue to guide us aright. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. And thank you for your patience. Assalamu alaikum.
Alhamdulillah. Obviously, as you can see, this is a topic that genuinely would need a lot of more time compared to what is allocated to it. And obviously, as a non-specialist in this area, honestly, it will be a bit difficult for me to summarize and give it a genuine meaning to what he has presented. All I can do is essentially to put the way I understand his presentation in the most simple of ways, and I'm sure within the audience there are people that probably have a much better understanding. But my understanding is he has had a look at the modes of operation of atheists and extremists. He has looked at the definition of religion as proffered by the atheists. He has pointed out to us the way the atheists operate in attacking religion, and he pointed out to us the dangers of the new atheists, and particularly the more dangerous ones, who are those that have left Islam and have become attackers of Muslims and Islam. And we do need to be aware of all these threats, both for our benefits and for the benefits of our children. We need to control the abuse of power of our security services, because they are the major recruiting agents for extremism. Islam is dynamic, and we should not limit ourselves to just our mazhabs. And we should have the wisdom to ask when we don't know. And we should not always delegate our responsibilities to other people. If we don't know, we should ask. We should be aware of what is clear and what is gray in our understanding of Islamic religion. Allah is merciful. Allah's rahmah overrides his punishment. We should be aware of scholars' interpretation. It is based on their understanding and limitation of their language. We should be able to accept Islamic teachings from wherever it is in order to preserve our identity as Muslims. We should be aware of hypocrisy. We should do as we preach. We should be aware of societal traumas that can drag our children away from Islam. And obviously the need to pursue knowledge as much as possible. Now, before the session, we have not had any discussion of how to run the panel, but what I intend to do is to give 5 minutes each to the members of the panel. So I will first of all call on Muazu Shehu to please give a 5 minutes synopsis of the topic.
It's actually difficult to discuss an issue that has been elaborately explored by Lemu, especially issue on atheism and da'wah and so on. But from the presentation and from my general understanding of the challenge of new atheism and how Muslims as individuals and Muslims as communities should respond to this very important, very potent challenge is one. It's good, it's important, it's necessary to understand the questions. We started with the questions. What are the major questions these individuals are asking? And with regards to the question, he emphasized on creation versus evolution. You hardly find Muslims making enough efforts and attempts to understand evolutionism and versus creationism. So to be capable of responding to new atheism as a Muslim parent, as a Muslim individual, a Muslim opinion leader, is critical to explore this hitherto unexplored thing. What is evolution, and how do we respond to the arguments, to the questions of evolutionists from within the theodicy of Islam? This is very important. The issue of dualism, why evil exists, why dualism, why is it that there is this supreme, omnipotent God and Shaitan or Iblis on the other hand? Why is Allah allowing Iblis to influence us when he wants us to have his mercy and so on? So we need to understand these questions and respond to them. The issue of religion and violent extremism. Why is Islam portrayed? Or why do we have so many bloodshed in the name of Islam? Some of us would have to struggle to actually answer questions from young chaps, from youngsters, as to why there is so much bloodshed and killing in the name of this religion that is inherently peaceful. So this is very, very important. Religion and gender issues. Why the media has portrayed Islam as a religion that does not tolerate fairness between the two genders, male and female. So the portrayal of Islam as a religion that subdues and subjugates women has to be dispelled, and you can't dispel this without actually looking into so many things and beyond the mazahibs, beyond the conventional Islamic perspectives on gender equality and fairness. We need to do more to respond to that. Another thing is the issue of free will. Allah has created us in His divine preordination and so on, and we are said to be individuals with free will. So how is fitra? how do we reconcile fitra and free will? Allah punishes individuals for what bima kasabat aydihim, but there is this belief also that Allah has preordained and predestined things, and everything moves in accordance with what Allah has set in motion. So this understanding is necessary to reconcile what people think is an apparent contradiction between the issue of evil and so forth. Another most important issue that has to be properly understood is the problem of evil. Why is there so much suffering in the world when Allah is in charge? And for Muslims, there is this understanding that when people understand the purpose of creation, when people understand the purpose of existence, there wouldn't be this hopelessness and meaninglessness as we have in what we would call the lion den. Materialism and so on and successes and accomplishments in science, technology and so on has made people to believe that humans have this overarching capacity to solve all problems. And when we fail to solve problems, we blame the overall creator. So understanding how these things, how these questions are posed and how they can be responded to is critical to solving or to coping with the challenge of new atheism. So beyond the questions, I think there is the issue of us not doing enough to understand the relationship between religion and society. From the social part, I've been a student of social scientists. From the social scientific point of view, you can't disconnect religion and society. In a variety of ways, religion shapes society from time immemorial. But in the same vein, societies shape what can be seen as, what can be considered as the practice of religion. So if you don't understand the intricate relationship between human society and religion, we can't conveniently, we can't effectively address the challenge of new atheism. Looking backward, you see the old atheism is a product of enlightenment. When there are so many societal challenges in the medieval Europe and Catholicism or Christianity in general has failed to provide convincing answers to existential challenges facing the medieval Europe. So enlightenment scholars began asking questions, and this gave birth to atheism. Today, modernity has come up with a new set of challenges that without understanding how modernity affects individuals, how modernity affects religion, the practice of religion itself, we can't effectively respond to the challenge of new atheism. Then the issue of responsible parenting. I hope Nura would add more. He has said something about it, but I think more needs to be. Let's have some bullet points, let's have some important takeaways regarding how responsible parenting can be used to cope with or to address the issue of new atheism. Thank you very much.
During his speech, Nurruddeen said Bilal has a big so please, if you will have your 5 minutes before we go to the discussion.
Can everyone hear me? Okay, so there's quite a lot to put into 5 minutes, but so I'll keep my head down for most of it because I have a lot of notes and I need to quickly scan on what to touch. So Brother Nur has already made mention of some studies that would bring the issue home and make it very imminent. So, but I'll add to that. So there is, before the studies in fact, if you think it's a distant thing in Nigeria and perhaps only visible online, which is very visible if you pay attention to Twitter, you just need to know that in the last 2 or 3 years, a number of atheist and openly atheist organizations have been registered and are very active and are getting funding and support from internationally. And they play a very good game, and they've basically turned atheism into an activism of its own sort. So just for your information, so for example, we have the Atheist Society of Nigeria, we have Northern Nigerian Humanist Association, we have the Nigerian Humanist Organization, I think, and the Atheist, mostly supported by the Atheist Alliance International, and we also have Nigerian Secular Society. And you have a lot of Muslims, and these are Muslims that have been brought up in very Muslim families. And that takes me to some of the studies that I would like to point out. So one of the studies shows that a survey in the US, but I think is also relevant, especially here, is that the levels of doubt in young people correlates to the level of conservatism of their parents. And it may sound counterintuitive, because typically we say, well, the more strict you are,